Yes, yes. All right, so we are here today live with Mr. Michael from New York. He's got a story to tell about his time with Leo's PBA, and we're just going to listen to his story tonight. His partners may be joining us later. We're having technical difficulties getting a hold of them at the moment due to a storm rolling through New York. If they hop in or if other PSOs hop in, we will introduce them as they come on. With that said, let's get into the show. So, Mr. Mike, do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us who you are.
My name is Michael Mears, and I live in the New York, Manhattan area. I work for Paragon for the past 5 years now, and we have presently LEOSO as our union. Actually, she's still our union until October 1st. Um, LEOSO came to us in early October of 2018, promising us the world.
Okay, and who were you
We,
with before Leosu?
we with 32 BJ.
32BJ, and can you tell us what it was like with that union? Like why you guys
It
were looking
was
at leaving?
it was it was like what it is now with the ESO. It was terrible. They promised us so much, but never gave us anything. All they took from us was our dues.
Okay, so
They
they took
didn't.
it. So how did Leosu find you guys? Did someone approach them or did they approach you?
I really am not sure, but I know that we had a few PSs that were looking for alternative to BJ, and Lieso presented himself as a fantastic union. A lot of smoking mirrors, showing us a lot of videos, a lot of internet stuff, things that were
Right.
actually fake, that were actually fake.
And do you remember some of the promises that he made before you guys voted him in?
Promised us a raise. He promised us a good rep. He promised us representation. Promised us a proper medical, dental, and eyes. None of this existed. None of this was produced in the time that he was here up to this day.
Okay, okay. So how did the vote go? Like was there like a big split between you guys or was it unanimous that you voted in Leosu?
When we voted from 32 BJ to Leso,
Yeah,
it actually he landed by a one slide. All 32 BJ got was 6 votes at the time.
six
He
votes.
got he got I can't remember exactly, but it was a real big. He really hammered it because he really plastered it on with the internet videos and all kinds of stuff that he showed us, and how many places he
Recording
had
in
won,
progress.
and he just plastered it on us, and we were really like in a bad relationship, and we took him.
Right. Okay, so like whenever you guys did take him, did he promise anything about a local board or what was that like?
He never promised a local board. Um, he did not promise a local. What he did is he used the delegates from 32 BJ. He kept them on and had them to do whatever he wanted to do, but he never promised us a local board. We never had a local board
Okay.
from Steve
And
or 32 BJ for that matter.
and Steve just said like, "Hey, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna handle everything, right?"
Exactly. That's what he did.
Right. So is that what happened? Like, did he handle everything or?
Yeah, he basically handled everything, and I think and the delegates went along with it. Basically,
Right, right.
um,
So let's step back. So he voted, you guys voted him in, almost
yes, we did.
unanimous, only 6 votes for the prior union. And
Yes,
like everyone, I'm assuming was happy. Everyone was like, okay, let's start looking forward to the future.
yeah.
Let's have a better
See,
union. Whenever it came to the CBA, what was it like going into that process? The promises he made, and well, I mean, first off, did he let anybody go to the negotiation table, or was it just Steve Maritas?
as far as I know, Steve was the one going to. As far as I know, because I was not on that panel, Steve was the one going to the negotiation tables. Um, and I believe afterward he would have private meetings with the delegates. And but he was the one that was doing the negotiations, as far as I know.
Right. And whenever it came time to approve his CBA, did you guys get a vote to see if did you guys get to vote to approve or deny it?
We didn't even know when that happened. We didn't. We all we will see is changes in the in certain things, but we would never know when anything was signed, when it was going to have a meeting done. So we would never know that.
Okay, so let's talk about the differences between his promises and what actually came out in the CBA. Let's start with pay raise first of all. So what percentages do you remember, or what dollar amounts were promised beforehand?
We were promised like a $3. We were promised early in time like a $3 raise. We never. All we got was a dollar. Um, just like probably like 6 or 7 months ago, we did get a $3 raise because he knew this was coming down to the time where he would probably lose. He knew we were very disappointed with him. So I don't know how we got that $3, but we got that $3 raise. And I believe that he had a big hand in it because he knew this was coming,
He knew the
and
CBA was closing and you guys were going to vote him out?
he knew that. Yeah, so he got us like can't remember exactly what, but early up in the year we got a raise of $3.
Right. And the
I
CBA was first signed in 2019?
I think it was 2000. I think it was 2019. Yeah, I think it was 2009. I'm not sure, but I think it
Okay.
was that time around the time.
So in 2019, he promised you a $3 raise and gave you a $1 raise.
We got
Um,
$1 raise.
a $1 raise. And like over the years of the CBA, did you have a 3-year or an extended 4-year CBA with him?
We only had we to be very honest with you, I'm not sure how this stuff worked, but he this coming October he'll be here for 5. That'll be 5 years that he was here. It'll be
Okay.
5 years. This October coming with this next couple of weeks will be 5 years that he was had this contract.
Okay. Okay. And just were the pay raises consistent over those 5 years, or?
No, all we got was a dollar every year, only $3. Just we got $3 about 6 or 7 months ago or something like that. We got a $3 raise, I think it was.
All right. So
But
what about benefits? What did Leosu promise and put into the CBA for benefits?
to be honest with you, the guys didn't get any benefits that were of any value. I think the benefits came from Paragon. I think
Okay.
the guys knew the Paragon benefits, not he didn't produce anything. He just in the very last couple of months, he tried to see if he can negotiate with some of the, I guess, the medical people, but it was too late. He just wanted to win. He just wanted to have the union back. That's why he was trying all that stuff. But we
Okay.
knew that he was just faking it.
And that was at the end of the last couple months from now?
Yeah, that was just like 2 months ago. He was
Okay,
trying to do all
so
this stuff.
but with the start though, back 5 years ago, he did he make any effort to try and get you guys health benefits?
No, he didn't. Yeah,
So,
we didn't see the guy. The guy hardly came around.
and
He hardly came around.
this is immediately after the CBA was signed. He just
This
disappeared.
is about 6 months after he won. He was there for the first couple of months. We would see him. He was short. Then all of a sudden he just vanished, and we couldn't. I mean, we couldn't get a hold of him. A lot of things happened to the PSOs, and they could not get a hold of him to solve any problems. Nothing was solved.
So
Nothing was
that's
done.
4.5 years. He's just been missing, and then he just comes back right around time for the new CBA to be signed to try and make all these promises again.
Actually, sometimes he was sneaking get in the building, and we wouldn't even know that he was upstairs having a meeting until somebody see him leaving, or But he never came around. Steve was gone, never around, always missing. During COVID, we actually did not see Steve at all during COVID.
Okay. Wow. So, to sidebar real quick, California, whenever we spoke to those PSOs back on Thursday night, I think it was, they brought up that their CBA had changes inside of it to make it to where Paragon can basically change the rules that govern what PSOs do from time to time. That's the letter of the law. Time to time, who knows what that is? That could be like you clock in, you're allowed to be on your phone, and then midway through the shift, it's like, hey, no, you can't do that anymore. Um, Did anything like that pop up in your CBA that was different from the last union, 32BJ?
To be honest with you, this is what happened to us. We used to have sick days, like 7 to 10 sick days a year.
Right, right.
All of a sudden, we realized that we had to start accumulating our sick days. We used to have
Accumulate them
eight
like
hour.
you accumulate paid time off.
Yes.
Okay.
We used to have 8 hours at the range before. When we go to the range, when we go to the range, we got paid for 8 hours. We would go, we would practice, then we would shoot to qualify. It went from 8 to 6, from 6 to 4, and now from 4 to 2. Just 2 hours we get paid before we go to the
So,
range.
so whenever you went to the range, how long were you there? Like 8 hours all the time?
No,
Whenever you went to
we were
qual,
there
or
like sometimes we were there for like sometimes 4 to 5 hours.
so four
All
to five
depends on how
hours.
much.
But it started out you
Yeah,
got paid for 8 hours of work
we
whenever
got
you
eight
went,
hours.
and then it went
Yes, we
down
got
to
paid for the
six
first.
hours and 4 hours and 2 hours.
No, that was 2 hours.
So
That's all we get
you're
for not two.
still at the range. I'm sorry to cut you off. You're
No, go ahead.
still at the range for 4 to 5 hours. And we're
Yeah,
with the
so
last
we
union,
get paid for
you
two.
got paid a lot. You got paid 3 extra hours just for qualifying,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Steve Maritas made it to where even though you're still there for 4 to 5 hours, you only
Maybe
got paid for
because
two?
it included 2 hours traveling time, right? It normally included 2 hours traveling time back and forth, but we would go to the range, shoot, practice, shoot, and then we would qualify. So really, the 8 hours was valid. But now we only get paid for 2 hours, even though we're there for at least 4 hours sometimes.
And that's so you got paid extra for travel time, and now you're basically only getting paid for travel time.
That's all we get. And not even for travel time, because it's only 2 hours. You know what I mean? Travel time is 2 hours back and forth. You know what I mean? That's 4 hours, but now we get paid just for 2 hours at the range. That's it.
That's okay. That's definitely a
And that's something
change.
that we were shocked about that. We were shocked when we saw that, but we had Steve was nowhere to be found to talk about that, nor none of his delegates to talk
Right.
about that.
So wow, that actually leads me right to my next point. So, but before we go on, were there any more changes you can remember to the CBA that negatively affected PSOs in terms of protection from Paragon?
Yeah, the guys that we something after I think it was after 10 years you get 4 weeks. 15 years it was 5 weeks. All that changed too. Now you
Can
get
you
less.
expand upon that a bit more when you say
You
15
get
years?
you used to get after 10 years I think you used to get 4 weeks. 15 you'll get 6 weeks.
4 weeks
20
of
you get
what?
like a vacation.
Right, and that's something
And not
32BJ
all,
promised.
all that now has changed. I think after 10 years you got 3 weeks now. After 20 you just got four. They took away a week from us, a week from what we used to get. They took away a week's vacation from us. Not only
Okay,
that, um, when you get paid vacation, you get paid for you get paid last year's salary.
okay. So,
Like
and that's something that Meritos put into the CPA that wasn't there before. So if
I
you
believe he
take
did because it was
vacation after a pay raise, your vacation time is rated for the year before that pay raise?
yes, yeah.
And
That's
that's
how we get paid. That's
okay.
how we get vacation pay. Never that never just happened before. It's only
Wow.
happened when Paragon took over this contract.
Right, right. And Meritos came in with
Yes,
Paragon.
he
Because
did.
who were you with before Paragon? I remember you were telling me you were on for 12 years on this contract,
We were with 32 BJ.
and 32BJ was the contract holder as well as the union.
No, 32 BJ. The 32 BJ was the union,
Okay,
and we had FJC. We used to work for FJC, and then around like 2000, it went over to Allen Universal, but nothing really changed because we were still under the same people were still managing their stuff, and LES was still the union.
right. Okay, so Paragon came in with Leo Su. So the
Yes,
contract changed over at the same time the union vote happened. And
Hmm.
yeah, that's interesting. So why do you have like any idea of why it happened that way, or is that just the way it played out?
I think that's just the way it played out because, like now that this is ending, we're bringing up Spitfist coming on in October. I mean, SPFPA is coming on in October, so I
Right.
think that's just the way it played out.
Huh. Oh, okay. Okay. So no complaints there. It's
Yeah.
happy coincidences. So moving on. So we got through the CBA. We voted them in. The CBA things were taken from us that wasn't necessarily good, and now we're off in a worse position. And we didn't get a vote for that CBA. So let's talk
Yeah.
about those delegates and the representation that Steve promised you. Um, After the 6 months, because you said he stuck around for 6 months when he left.
6 months, probably less, but I would give him 6 months.
So you would give him 6 months. So
Yeah.
whenever he left, walk me through what happened to you and your brothers and sisters in New York.
Man, when Paragon began, they started suspending people left and right, firing people, and the delegates that were there, delegates that we had no kind of power. They did absolutely nothing. Um, some of them would try to get a hold of Steve, but sometimes to no avail. They never got a hold of him. And a lot of guys left the company and went for other jobs because they were tired of all the stuff that was going on. You know what I mean? Paying the union dues, and they were not getting any representation at all from the ESO, none whatsoever. And um, it was horrible. It was horrible work. Working on some conditions. Sometimes your time is up and you get hold for another 4 hours. You're required to work for 8 hours under New York labor law. After 8 hours, the boy spoke. After 8 hours, you can go home, but sometimes they hold you. You can't do anything about it because you want to keep your job, you want to keep working, so you go along with it. Nobody that you can call upon to represent you for what was going on in the workplace. So they
Right.
took
So
advantage of it.
so whenever you say working conditions, are you saying that it's just the state law you can't work over 8 hours, or were there other
No, 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 no,
problems
no,
with your
no.
work
What?
environment?
No, not you could work over 8 hours, but sometimes some of us have other jobs that we go to, have other
Right.
jobs. So sometimes you get stuck on this job, and then you got to call on the other job because you can't, you can't leave because this is your main job. That may be a part-time job, but you can't leave. You know what I mean? And that's bad. That was bad for a lot of guys. Because a lot of guys had part-time jobs and had to give them up because sometimes you get stuck because a lot of people were leaving when problem came in. A lot of people left. A lot of people either got fired, some got suspended, and never came back. And right now, we are actually short on manpower right now.
Oh, trust me, we all
Struggling.
know that story. So,
Yeah.
do you remember if any of those suspensions or firings were unjust that you could have had a union for to help pull people back?
Yes, there were. I don't want to call it near, but there were at least like two or three of them that to me that was unjust. That really didn't was not called for. They didn't have to do that. They just, I mean, just something because normally when you speak up, you become a problem.
So
When
when
you
we,
say
I'm sorry, go on.
when you speak up, you become a problem officer. If you say things that they don't like like talk about the labor laws or something like that, they become threatened by that. So they think that you're a problem person, and they either move you to another site or somewhere that they don't want to see you, or they get rid of you.
Right. So whenever you say unjust, I just want to get clarification on that. Is that like in the court of public opinion it was unjust, or did it violate labor laws, bylaws, or the CBA?
Um, not really violating labor laws, but I think it violated um, probably the CBA because those guys should have had somebody to represent them, you know, before they got fired. The guy something didn't get a hearing. Sometimes this guy did a mistake once and he's gone. You know what I mean?
Okay, and he that
And
mistake wasn't like falling asleep or anything. It was just a mistake that
no,
anyone would make.
we only had one guy that got fired recently for falling asleep, but he was rehired. He got rehired. You understand?
Okay,
And
okay.
that's because that the SO want to try to prove a point to get him back, so they can say, "Oh, we brought him back," but it was kind of too late for them
Right.
because
What about
we
what
knew
about
what we
the
knew.
other guys whenever they submitted grievances? How did that work? The guys that were treated unjustly.
Think you submit the grievances, guys, probably people would deny the grievances, like, they would deny it. You don't have about to fight for you unless you get your own lawyer, unless you get your own lawyer to fight for you. And, you didn't stand a chance. There are a few guys that got their own lawyers, and probably didn't fight back because they know they didn't have a chance because it was unfair. You know what I mean? And they won back their posts and stuff, and they came back to work. Probably don't bother those guys that have lawyers. They don't bother those guys.
Right,
Those
right.
guys that, when you show that you have somebody in your corner, but the union was non-existent.
Right. So the guys that sidestepped the union got their own representation. Those were the guys that Paragon just said, "Hey, we're actually not going to bother you." But the guys whose
They don't
only
bother them.
representation was the union, they would be bothered.
Yes, those guys that had the union, well, we ain't had a union really. Those guys that were dependent on the union to help them, a lot of those guys not back. A lot of
Okay,
those guys are
so
gone.
October 1st, you are switching over to SPFPA. So you're still
Yes,
currently under LEOSU.
yes, we are.
So right now, if I asked you to walk me through how to submit a grievance, can you walk me through that process?
Really, truthfully, I've never had a problem, so I've never done it myself. But I believe that you would ask for the a copy of the suspension letter, a copy of the termination letter, and then you should get with your your union representative, and sit down and talk, or get a lawyer or whatever. But I've never done it myself
All right.
because I've
So
never had.
who between delegates and Steve Meritos, who actually is your union representative? Can you tell him by name?
Um, I don't want to mention their names
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
because,
But you
yeah,
could if you had to.
yes, I could, yes, I
Okay.
could.
And what happened after people would get with them, the other delegates?
To be honest with you, there was only one delegate that really did do something that did do something for the guys. He would actually go and fight for most of the guys, and he was not always successful, but he would bring, help, fight and get back a few of them. But he was the only person that actually, to me, did anything as a delegate on the LESO.
Yeah. Was he appointed or voted in as a
He
delegate?
was appointed. He was appointed by Steve.
All right. And what about the other delegates that Steve appointed? Did they do their jobs?
No, he did not.
Okay. So with Steve, he because it sounds like you guys actually were getting representation from those delegates. Um, was Steve ever around to actually fight for these people like he said he was, or did he just leave it to those delegates?
As far as I know, he was never really around. I never
Right.
see Steve came and fight for anybody. Um, as I said, there was only one delegate that would go and try to fight for people.
And how many delegates did
And
you have?
at first, there were like six. There were six, and three of them did. There were three of them that did not go along with what he was doing, and he kicked them off he kicked them off his group.
Okay, so what do you mean
So
whenever they say they didn't go along?
they didn't go along. They didn't go along with the signing of the 2 days for the 2 days for the range, the 2 hours for the range, and the accumulation of the sick days. They
So
didn't go
this is
along with
going
that.
back to the CBA now.
Yes, they didn't go back. So he actually got rid of those three delegates, and then he only had three.
Okay, okay. And then those three, they just went along with what Meritas was saying. Is this gentleman you were talking about earlier one of those three, the one that was actually helping people?
Um, to be honest, I don't know if he was present during any of those signings. Um, I don't know if not, that particular delegate was present, but I know at least one or two of them was present. It was Steve. I don't know if he was present at the CBS signing, but I know the news to talk to Steve.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
So okay. So it sounds to me, just to recap this last segment, out of your entire 5 years with Leosu, you were only received you only received representation from one delegate out of the. Or is it still three?
Now is I think it's I'm not even sure now because I'm not sure who at present now. I don't think you have any delegates right now at present.
Okay, so what happened to the guy that was helping people?
He resigned.
He resigned. Why did he resign?
Yes. I guess he had enough of it. I guess he had enough of what he was doing and he just up and resigned.
Enough of what? Who was doing, the delegate or Steve?
The delegate, yeah. I think he had enough of what Steve was doing and he up and resigned. Because he
Now,
himself sometimes can contact Steve.
now I just want to make sure that like the story is clear, not only for me but for my viewers. That
Right.
we had Tiu in here. Tiu, thank you for joining, brother. I'm sorry you didn't stick around, but this delegate, do you know how long he was in the company before he became a delegate, or like was he a delegate the entire time from the signing of the CBA, or did he step up later?
I think he stepped up later. He wasn't. I don't think he was at the sign at the beginning. I don't think he. I can't remember. I don't think he was a delegate at the beginning.
So what, like stepped up to try and fight the system, or
Yeah, I guess that's what he did. That's what he did. He stepped to try to fight the system, but I don't think he was. I don't think he was. Yeah, he was at the
and
conception of
do you
this stuff.
know, like, can you confirm or confirm or deny um, anything that he told you about Steve going against this delegate to make him resign over what Steve did, or?
No, he just up and we saw that he had resigned. He did it by I think he did it by text or email. That's I think email is something that he's sent an email that he was no longer a part of the he was no longer a part of it and he was not representing anybody anymore.
But did you hear any stories from him about why or what happened?
Well, this is really what happened. Steve had made him in the last couple of months here. He had made him the president of LESO.
Of the local branch.
Yeah, of the local branch. Yes,
Okay, okay.
we never had a local branch before, and Steve had made him the president.
And how long ago was
And
this?
just in August, the last month, or either August or July.
So at this
It was.
time, SPFPA is already on the scene trying to like coerce people
Yes,
over to their side. And
yes,
Steve takes the one guy that's willing to do anything to help out PSOs. And mind you, this is 4.5 years after you got with Leosu. Now he's got one guy. He appoints him as president, lets him do some work, and then the guy resigns.
yep.
How
So
long
it
ago did
happened.
he resign?
He resigned the day that we actually won the election. He resigned.
Okay,
That
okay.
was he resigned August. I think it was the 18th.
Well, at least he stuck around long enough to make sure that there was someone better coming in, yeah?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. That's what
that
he
that
did. Yeah.
leads us that's actually a perfect segue into our next section. How did SPFPA find you?
Well, they came to the facility. They were just introducing themselves, and they were talking to all the guys and trying to show them what they can provide alternative to what we had now. And a lot of guys were very interested because we didn't have anybody come and talk to us like how they did it. They came in, they were very nice, they are very professional, and they spoke to us and said we can give you better than what you have now. Not only that,
And
we can help you create a local board, something that we never had before.
right, and to confirm, I was typing out timestamps for my editing later. You said that they just showed up, or PSOs went out and found them.
Actually, um, one of our PSOs told us about FPSPA. And at first we didn't really pay any mind, but when they did come to the area, they did come into New York, they went upstate and talked to the guys upstate. And nobody ever went upstate and talked to the guys upstate. Nobody, no union ever went upstate and talked to the guys upstate. But these guys did. And
Right, so
when they
that's
came
kind of
down,
like our Guam kind of when Leosu showed up. They went and visited Guam. different story, different, but same thing. Someone comes in to try and get you to change unions. They're gonna go talk up, or you're upstate, my ocean
Yeah.
away. But they went up and they talked to guys that no one ever talked to before.
No one ever went. No one ever went there before. They never visited that far, and these guys did. These guys was touching every place they could,
Right.
and
And what were the promises they were making?
um, the promises that we're making: better working conditions, a meaningful livable wage. They were making the medical package that they had, eyes and dental, and they were telling us that they can offer us a better than what we have now. And
Right.
really and truthfully, it was no comparison to me. There was no comparison.
Right. And
I was sold.
before,
I was sold.
we just talked about how SPFPA promised medical. Can you walk me through the last 4.5 years? Just what medical were PSOs getting? Was it what Paragon gave them because Leosu wasn't
Yes,
promising, or did they
it
go?
was what par- it was what Paragon gave them. And when you go to the doctor, you had to pay an absorbent amount of money out of your pocket,
So big
even though you
copay,
are a big copay.
right? And
Sometimes some guys weren't even covered for anything.
yeah. So did guys like try and get their own medical, or did they just?
A lot of the guys went and got their own medical. A lot of the guys got their own medical. Tried to get something that was more palatable for them to, for them and their families. Because see, what these guys did is that they only covered spouse and kids, not family.
Right.
They didn't cover family. Also, if you had a spouse, you're supposed to have her own insurance or his own insurance. But
Right.
you and the kids were covered. Well, kids had some form of insurance. You know what I mean?
Right. So
Not
Paragon
the one.
did give them some kind of insurance for the kids.
Form of insurance for you and the kids. Yeah,
But your wife, your husband, they can go kick rocks. We're not worried about them.
exactly,
Well,
exactly.
if
Okay with
Paragon
that. Yeah,
wanted you to have a wife, they'd probably issue it to you. Yeah.
yeah, probably one of the new ones.
So, you seem like a guy that likes to talk to your fellow PSOs. You seem like you've got a good
Oh
head
yeah.
on your shoulder. What is the consensus with SPFPA's new medical plan? Do you think guys are going to get rid of their private coverage and go with what SPFPA is promising?
Yeah, a lot of guys are actually going to the website now and they're looking at the plans. Because I think there are 3 or 4 plans that they have, and the guys are going and looking. A lot of guys are telling me, "Oh, I think I'll be like this. We like this." A lot of guys are telling me that they like what SPFPA have to offer,
Right.
because at least and I think they even offer a pension. So I have to be sure on that, but I'm not
401k.
sure on that. But some kind of I think something even further than that.
Which,
Okay.
yeah, wow, I can't believe I forgot to ask this earlier.
Yeah.
No, 401ks from Leosu. Yes or no?
Yes, it has a 401k. Yes.
Okay, and is it the health and welfare that's going into that 401k?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so just like us, you don't get your health and welfare. Just
No, they
when's the last
don't.
time?
They
When's the
don't.
last time our PSOs seen money being put into that 401k?
Well, a lot of PSOs have their 401ks on their phones. So you look at it, you see, yeah, money is being put into it.
Okay.
Not the amount that we think should go into
Yeah,
it
not the
sometimes,
amount.
but
Yeah, so
yeah, even your paycheck seems to vary every week. Every week, even though you might work the same amount of hours every week, your paycheck never is the same.
yeah, so
You know what I
what
mean?
so what we're supposed to see with our health and welfare, it's that money is going towards your medical insurance, your
Hmm.
401k, and union dues. So it doesn't make sense to me that that money is different every week. So where's the rest of that money going?
That's the million-dollar question that we would like to get answered.
Does
Hopefully, we can get.
Leosu have a union fund for union events and stuff like that?
Not as far as I know, because we
So do you know what your
since
split?
since
I'm sorry, continue.
since they were since they were here, we had just I can remember that just 2 functions. One a meet and greet when he first won, and then one some couple of months ago or so where about 6 people showed up.
So does Leosu have a split between their union dues that they pay them? Is how much percentage of that dues does Steve Maritas get?
That I cannot answer. I wish my other fellow PSOs were in. 'Cause a lot of them know that information, but I don't know that information.
Okay, okay. All right. So but with SPFPA, do you know what the split's going to be?
Not we really haven't sat down yet because Steve is appealing the elections, so we haven't had a chance to sit down and really talk because he's still appealing the election. So they haven't been certified as yet as our union.
Right. So how did the vote go with that question in mind? Was it unanimous like it was going to Leosu, or was there a
The
big
goal
split?
the goal the vote went 53 to 94, I think it was,
Okay, so about 60%. How many
and
PSOs voted? So 53 to
the
94. Let me pull up a calculator. I'm not good with numbers at all. I wish
I
John
think it
was
was
here for
90. I
this
think it was
part.
94. Could be more, but I think it was 94. But he only got that because of the guy that was acting president at the time. That's the only reason he got it. Because a few guys like what he was doing. So I believe that's how he got. That's why he got that amount of
Yeah, so
votes.
two-thirds of the votes went to SPFPA.
Yes,
That's what we're looking at. So out of 147 votes, we got 94 for SPFPA from you guys.
I
That's
think it
a
was 94.
yeah, that's a pretty big swing. So
Yeah, that's a big thing. So I
so
don't know what
did
he's appealing.
Steve have ground to stand on for appealing? Like what did he say happened? Why
Not
is he
not
appealing?
not as not as far as I not as far as I know. He has no grounds for appeal because everything was done. Actually, he's the one that pushed back the count. The count was supposed to be on. It was supposed to be earlier than it was, and he pushed back the count, even though it was going to be on Zoom, and he could have done it from any place in the world and see what was going on. And he pushed back the count, and I think he pushed it back because he didn't want to give these guys time to get time to negotiate anything for the guys, because the guys we were trying to get a raise for the guys October 1st. So I think Steve knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, it seems like a really dirty play.
Yeah.
But you guys, SPFPA won is the
Yes, they
story.
did.
Have you
Yes.
guys discussed what's going to go into the CBA yet?
No, we have not done anything as yet because we were trying to wait till the appeals were finished and we were certified to get to work. We didn't want to you know do anything until Steve stops appealing.
Okay, okay. And when is your vote to make sure that raise comes in next year?
That I can't tell you. I don't really know. That I can't tell you. You better
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So I guess my last question, my last segment for you is
Mhm.
SPFPA won. Leosu is out. They're trying to appeal it, but we're pretty sure that SPFPA is going to be your union going forward.
Yes.
How does the future look for you?
I think it looks good for us because this union wants to unite us as a group. They have um, get like we have a local we having a local boards where the PSOs will be the one run the union locally and then reporting to them. Any problem that we can't fix, they step in, they take care of it. That I
Right.
like that because we never had anyone come and brought that to us before. Even though we knew it exists, but no union ever come before it took us. So they're not taking all of our dues. They're giving us some of our dues to help a fund for the PSOs to do things locally. We never had that before.
Never had that before.
Never had
Right.
that before.
So yeah, that does seem like a pretty bright future. Seems like you guys are going to be getting the representation you deserve.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. I'm sure that we will. I'm sure that these guys are going to give us the representation.
And
I think. Mhm.
I'm so sorry. I wish I had my notes pulled up. I ran out of monitor space. But are you running for the local board?
Yes, I am.
What position are you running for?
I'm actually. It really doesn't matter. Whatever position that the president gives me, I'll take. I just
Right.
want to help the PSO. So whatever position that the president, the guy who's going to be president, whatever position he offers me, I'll take it.
And is it up to the PSOs to decide if you're going to get in, or is it just the president appointing you?
Um, you see, we are the best that we're going to have the PSOs vote for these positions because we want to be transparent. We want to um, put forward a good image and do this thing the right way.
Right.
So, however this is done, that's what we're going. However it is done the correct way, that's what we're going to do.
Right. And so, having been through what you've been through, do you think that maybe influenced your decision to run? Like, do you feel like you're going to be able to fight tooth and nail for your PSOs?
Yes, I intend to. I intend to.
And everyone that's nominated and is going to be voted and is going to do the same thing.
Yes, these guys have had enough of nothing, and they want something. You know what I mean? They want a good livable wage. They want better working conditions, and they want to be able to take care of their families, and have leisure time like anybody. They want a good package, a good medical package, good dental, eyes, and everything. That's what these guys are hoping for. So that's what we intend to fight for. Unite. We're going to unite, and we're going to fight for these things.
That's outstanding to hear. It's stunning to hear you say
Yeah.
that. Um, well, that is the end of my questions, actually. Do you have anything else you want to say?
I just want to say to you guys, consider what you are voting for. The SO is going to offer you nothing. All they're going to offer you is empty promises and smoke and mirrors. They're not going to give you anything. I don't know if anything will change in the future for them, but um, we have received nothing. All they took from us was our dues. They gave us nothing in return. And that's why we got rid of them. We believe that SPFPA will be the union that will be there for us when we need them. So we encourage you to vote for FPSPA because those guys are willing to work with you, help you, and we hope that you will consider them when you go to the vote, when you do your ballot.
All right. I don't think I could have said that any better myself. Mr. Mike, um, this was scheduled to go on for an hour. I did have 20 minutes blocked out for questions, which we're at 42 minutes right now.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you again for joining us. I cannot tell you what it means from me or anyone that's going to hear this in the future to see what our future looks like and to hear what your future looks like going away from LEOS-PBA to SPFPA.
Thank you
Again,
for your time.
as my closing remarks, as I said in the last video, September 8th, Election Buddies sent you an email. There is no closing date right now. I don't have a clear answer on that. I think it's going to go until the elections for LEOS-PBA and SPFPA ends, but it is your time to do what Mr. Mike and the PSOs of New York are doing and select your candidates for your local board election. Just like Mr. Mike here, everyone on that candidate list, all those guys that accept to run for these positions, are going to make sure that they fight for your rights so nobody can punish you unjustly, to make sure you get what you need in your CBA, and to make sure we keep the benefits we already have.
Yes.
Mr. Mike, he does not have the $103,000 sitting in his union bank account that we do, because
Nope.
Leoso never gave it to him. So if we stay
Yep.
with SPFPA, we get what he's starting to get.
Yes.
Let's make sure it stays that way. Mr. Mike, again, it has been a wonderful conversation with you. Feel free if you wish to come back on in the future if we do this again, or if any of your partners that were supposed to join us tonight want to try and reach back out and set up a time for an individual
I will.
conversation or a group one.
I, yes, I will. I will try to reach out to them so they can come on because they have much more to share. They have much more to share probably than I do. I've been
Right.
there for a lot of years.
All right, we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to hear from you guys. And to those, I did promise a live stream for today. Turns out YouTube's different from the last time I did it. Next time we do this, there will be a live stream concurrent with this Zoom call. Again, thank you all for coming. Mr. Mike, you can see yourself out. I will stay on for another few minutes to make sure no one else pops up for questions. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you also for your time. Thank you.
All right, we're off live and off the call, so like I said, Mr. Mike's seeing himself out. I'm just going to sit here for a few more minutes. You did a really good job, Mike. We're not live, we're not recorded anymore, so super good job, man. You too.